Good morning. Today is November the 19th. We're in John chapter 2, verse 19. In 3 days. You know, this morning, jump up. Look out the window to the east. Do you see the sun coming up? God made the sun to come up in the east so that you and I would look to the east. In those days, when that was happening, they were looking to the east, to the temple in Jerusalem. But Herod came along and the Roman army came along, and that temple that was built there was torn down in AD 70. And so there was no longer a place for the people to come to worship. So God says, I will no longer live in a temple built with hands, human hands, but I will live in human hearts. Jesus came along and he was telling the disciples and anybody that would listen, he says, in 3 days, he said, I'm going to lay this temple down. He's talking about the body of his temple, himself. I'm going to lay this temple down. And I am going to be beaten. I'm going to be flogged. I'm going to be humiliated. I'm going to be tormented. I'm going to receive all the sins and all the iniquities of man upon myself. And I'm going into the Garden of Gethsemane, and I'm going to pray for them, and I'm going to sweat drops of blood. And then I'm going to be taken before the leaders of the Sanhedrin and before the Romans. And they are going to execute me, and I'm going to lay myself down. And in 3 days, I'm going to raise myself up, because I have given the power to lay myself down. I have been given the power to raise myself up. And so he did exactly that. And Peter came to him. He says, "No, Lord, I will fight to the end." He says, "Get behind me, Satan." Because he told the people, in 3 days, I am going to arise, and I am going to give you resurrection life. You know, without resurrection, our life here on the earth is but a vapor. We will come, we will live, we will die, we will be forgotten. When the people that know us forget about us, or times pass and new generation, we are a thing of the past. We are but a memory. But through that resurrection, one of these days, that body that has been sown into corruption, in 1 Corinthians 15, will rise with immortality. And we will rise with a body like Christ. When we die, our spirit and our soul will be with Jesus and the Father. But when Jesus comes on the second coming, that body will come out of that tomb, come out of that grave, and we will be triumphantly translated to a body that never dies, with no sickness, no disease, no sin. Oh, what a glorious day. In 3 days, we have been transformed. In 3 days, Jesus says, I'm showing you the ways of my righteousness. In 3 days, I have brought you from death to life, to victory. I am teaching you today the ways of the Lord. Lay aside all those traditions and all those things that are hindering your walk with the Lord. May He show you His power today in Jesus. Amen.